Hello and welcome into the Pioneers Weekly Recap and Preview Show. I'm Brian Staten. For Tusculum University this week, big week as spring sports get set to get underway. As we take a look at the weekend, the Pioneer baseball team will be on the road for their annual Florida swing. But for the first time in 21 years, there'll be a guy not named Doug Jones who will be leading the charge. It'll be the start of the Brandon Steele era. Again, for the first time in 21 years, a new guy will be at the helm and the skipper for the Pioneers. For Doug Jones and his campaign at Tusculum, it's been utterly otherworldly in some ways. The all-time leader in victories at Tusculum University. Led the Pioneers to 705 wins from 1999 to 2018. That's what Doug Jones did. Now he's moved on. The Vice President of Athletics and University Initiatives. It's another name for athletic director as well, but doing so much more at Tusculum University. And then Brandon Steele. It's not like he wasn't part of the program. 15 years he was part of the program at Tusculum University with those victories with Doug Jones, winning the South Atlantic Conference titles, winning South Atlantic Conference tournament championships, and advancing to the NCAA tournament. So best of luck to Brandon Steele and the Pioneers who begin the Florida swing for Tusculum University this weekend. And with that, there have been some individual honors that will go along for the Pioneers. Jarrell McDade has been named as a all-region phenomenon, and also Dalton Martin. For a second consecutive year, Dalton Martin will earn a preseason honor. The Collegiate Baseball Writers of America have named him All-America Third Team. The junior from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, earned All-America accolades last year, second team. He led the South Atlantic Conference in batting average. He also had 86 total hits, which was 17th in the nation, the most by a Division II left-hander, by the way. The all-conference first-team selection finished 18th in the nation in batting average. His 7 triples were a league best and 10th in the country. And he finished 20th in Division II in doubles and 23rd in on-base percentage. He is just peltering the Tusculum record book. He leads the Pioneers last year with 29 multiple hit games, 10 with 3 or more, and he hit safely in his first 12 games of the season last year. That went to a 23-game hitting streak going back to 2017 to the start of last year. Congratulations once again to Dalton Martin, earning preseason third-team All-America honors this season to go along with his preseason all-conference accolades. The Pioneers returned some great talent this year, but they were given a preseason number 7 to start the South Atlantic Conference season. When we talk about spring sports, tennis getting ramped up, golf getting set to be ramped up, lacrosse is getting set to be ramped up, softball getting set to be ramped up. But for Coach Carrington and his men's lacrosse team, they will take on nationally ranked Limestone. Always a tough opponent, but it's an easy game to get within the region. However, it's just tough because Limestone is one of the best teams, not only in the region, but in the country as well. So Coach Carrington and the Pioneer lacrosse team will get the opportunity to host the Limestone Saints in lacrosse coming up this weekend. Now, because of the weather in East Tennessee has been a little bit dicey and still snow on several of the areas, including, say, Pioneer Field, the possibilities of that game potentially getting postponed or just moved to later in the weekend is great. So stay tuned to TusculumPioneers.com for the latest updates and possible schedule changes with Tusculum and Limestone, and you can stay locked in to the latest Tusculum social media to get the latest updates as well. And as always, you can watch the Tusculum lacrosse match through the Pioneer Sports Network through TusculumPioneers.com. Congratulations to Guillaume DeVries. For a second time this year, he's been named the AstroTurf South Atlantic Conference Athlete of the Week. Guillaume was named that for this past week for the honors that he earned in Columbia, South Carolina at the Liberty Kickoff Invitational as he jumped 6 feet 10 3/4 inches. He wins the meet in the long jump for a second time this season. The victory, his second in 3 meets this year. He had previously won at the ETSU Invitational earlier this month. And oh, by the way, the Pioneers will go right back to ETSU this weekend as the indoor track and field team will be on the move and on the march to Johnson City this week. So congratulations to Guillaume DeVries, the AstroTurf Athlete of the Week for indoor track and field for the second time this year. And for the second time this year, he also earns our Zaxby's Athlete of the Week honor, and earning that with Kendrea Duke. DeVries won the high jump at the Liberty Kickoff, as talked about. He also won earlier this year at ETSU. So for 2 wins this year and for 2 times this year, he earns our Zaxby's Athlete of the Week. For Kendrea Duke, it's their first time. She averaged 14 points, 6 rebounds a game last week as the Pioneers went 2-1, knocking off Newberry to start the week, where she had 10 points in that game. Went down to LMU in the loss, scored 16 points in that one. She would close out the week with a double-double, 16 points, 13 rebounds in the Pioneers' overtime victory against Catawba. Congratulations to Guillaume Devries, indoor track and field, and to Kendrea Duke of the women's basketball team for earning Zaxby's Athlete of the Week. Last week, the Pioneers made a very special presentation during their Make-A-Wish campaign, the chosen philanthropy of the Pioneer Student Athletic Advisory Committee. And it touched the lives of others here at Tusculum. For first-year head coach, Coach Cash, at the golf team, his son got involved, Colby. The Make-A-Wish Foundation got a special donation from a thoughtful pioneer, as Colby Cash, now the 11-year-old son of men's golf coach Ross Cash, inspired by what the PSAC was doing on their Pack the Arena night on January 16th. So on his own, he suggested to his parents he'd like to make a donation to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which he did. Somehow it got caught through social media and what he was wanting to do and hoping to do. So for his birthday, he didn't accept any money. All that money that he was to earn there went to Make-A-Wish, and then others heard about it, and it grew to $195. So Colby, that's the way to have the giving spirit, especially on a day where you should be receiving. Thank you to Colby Cash, and to everyone who makes a help and a donation to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the chosen philanthropy of the Pioneer Student Athletic Advisory Committee. Until next week, the Tusculum Pioneers get set to open up this spring sports schedule. We'll have a lot more to talk about. You can always find out all the latest information through TusculumPioneers.com as it happens, through social media, and also by downloading the Front Row app through Pioneer Nation as well. Find that on your Google Play Store or your App Store, whatever it may be. For everybody behind the scenes here at the Pioneer Sports Network, Nick Forsberg, Dom Donnelly, and Jim Miller, I'm Brian Staten. Until next week, go Pioneers.